Coming up next on Good Morning El Paso, a man is in critical condition right now after he was thrown from a truck in a rollover. We have your round-the-clock coverage in a live report. Also,
it's bad for patients, bad for the providers, the nurses and doctors who take care of them, and terrible for taxpayers.
Arguments begin today in the case that can obliterate Obamacare. We have the latest.
And that first alert still in effect for the borderland. We have your complete storm track weather coverage.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock, and if you are just joining us this morning, our round-the-clock crew is on the scene of a rollover that is shutting down part of US 54.
Police tell us one man is in critical condition. We'll have a live report coming up from the scene in just a few moments. But first, let's go ahead and get right to your storm track weather coverage. We're under that first alert, but that's actually a pretty shot.
It is a live look outside this morning from atop the Franklin Mountains from our exclusive ABC7 mountain cam. You can see those clouds hanging around, and Crystal is telling us exactly why we're under that first alert in a moment.
That's right. Welcome back to Good Morning El Paso, everyone. I'm Hillary Floren.
And I'm Stephanie Valle. It is Wednesday morning, and let's get right to Crystal for our first alert forecast.
Hi, good morning, guys. We are looking at our clouds and radar map because still we're talking chances of rain in the forecast. The thing is, it's starting to break apart a little bit. Just some light rain out there over parts of Hudspeth, Culberson County. Notice Doñana, El Paso County, Luna counties, all under those more clear conditions. Today, we're just talking a light to scattered chance of rain in the forecast. Now, we're still under a first alert, but not so much for the rain. It's actually for something a little different here. An approaching cold front bringing strong winds and then very cold air by your Thursday morning. In fact, will be below freezing, bitterly cold wind chills expected. And could we see a little snow? We're going to discuss that with your future track model up in just a few minutes.
Yeah. All right, thanks so much, Crystal. And now to that round-the-clock coverage.
The southbound lanes of US 54 are closed after a rollover overnight. It happened near the Pershing exit around 1 o'clock this morning.
Good morning, El Paso's Luke Litton joins us live from the scene right now with those details. Good morning.
Good morning, Hillary and Stephanie. As you just mentioned, US 54 South at the Fred Wilson exit is still closed. If you look closely, you'll see the truck that was involved in this rollover crash. Officials have told us one man was driving southbound on US 54 when he lost control for an unknown reason, hit the median, and then was ejected. But officials could not tell us how old this man was. Border Patrol was first at the scene, and that's when they called it in. The man was taken to UMC, and he's now in critical condition. Special traffic investigators are still on the scene to find out the exact cause of this crash. If you are headed in this direction, you will want to take an alternate route or just take a right at Cassidy Road to avoid this closure. I just recently got off the phone with the spokesman from the police department, and he told me he could not release any more information at this point in time, but once we do know more, we will be sure to update you on air and online at KVIA.com. Reporting live in Northeast El Paso, Luke Litton, ABC7.
Right, Luke, thank you for that update. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appeared before members of both houses of Congress to express concerns over a proposed nuclear agreement between the U.S. and Iran. Now, Iran wants to be allowed to keep its nuclear technology enrichment and research programs. And even though the Obama administration says the country will never be permitted to build an actual nuclear weapon, Israel is concerned that allowing Iran to further develop any nuclear technology just opens the door and could put the very existence of the Jewish state and the world at risk. But not all lawmakers appreciated Netanyahu's speech. Borderland Representative Beto O'Rourke was one of about 50 who boycotted the speech. ABC7 spoke with representatives of El Paso's Jewish community who say they felt ostracized by O'Rourke's absence.
There was a time where we stayed silent, when we were in the midst of adversity, when we had a rampant tyrant in the world, and the result of that was World War II.
Speaking with El Paso Jewish businessman Tanny Berg and B'nai Zion Rabbi Stephen Leon, both say they were moved by Netanyahu's speech, but both were rattled by O'Rourke's absence. O'Rourke warned last week that he would not be attending the speech, writing on Facebook that he believed it to be a political stunt by Netanyahu.
I think he had an obligation to his constituency, which is way beyond his own personal opinion, to attend, but I think that not listening, especially when you're at that level of Congress, I think it's almost a disservice to the people that you represent.
O'Rourke told ABC7 instead of attending the speech, he met with El Pasoans from AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, to discuss the negotiations between the P5+1 nations and Iran.
Also out of Capitol Hill, it appears the congressional feud over funding the Department of Homeland Security may be over. The House voted to approve a $40 billion spending bill that will fund the department through the rest of the fiscal year. It now moves on to the president's desk. The key is that the bill does not contain limitations on President Obama's ability to limit deportations, which was what Republicans were actually fighting for. The GOP was unable to overcome united opposition from Senate Democrats to their strategy. $1 million worth of marijuana off the streets this morning after Border Patrol agents made a huge bust on Monday. Agents found it inside a truck crossing the border. Our New Mexico mobile newsroom got this video of 2 Mexican men arrested right near Lordsburg. The truck was actually reported stolen in Tucson and was loaded down with 1,600 plus pounds of marijuana. The Drug Enforcement Agency seized the pot and took custody of the men who were from Mexico.
An El Paso County Sheriff's detention officer is behind bars this morning. Officials with the Sheriff's Office say 35-year-old Juan Munoz had an arrest or a warrant for his arrest stemming from an indictment for sexual assault. The victim is allegedly someone Munoz had a previous relationship with. He was booked under a $40,000 bond and has been placed on administrative leave without pay.
An 11-month-old baby has been upgraded to stable condition after the family pit bull bit her on the head and leg. It happened yesterday afternoon right near the intersection of Desert Meadows and Santi Esteban in Montana Vista. The mother had her child in her arms outside the home when 2 pit bulls got out of the gate. During the struggle to get the dogs back in, one of them bit the child. The dog was eventually corralled and taken in alive by the Animal Services Department. The other pit bull died after it was hit by a car. Officials say the toddler had to get 10 stitches to her head.
The Sun City Showdown is over. So which team is now headed to the state Sweet 16 for basketball? Well, Bel Air and Andress, 2 of the top 5 teams in the state, met at the Don Haskins Center last night, and about 9,900 people went out to watch that matchup. Andress is wearing white, you see there. They came out strong, leading by 3 points at the half before pulling away in the second. Andress won this one 58-44. Bel Air losing for the first time this season. They entered the night 32-0. Andress is improving to 31-1. They're going to face Dunbar High School Friday night. That game will be in Snyder, and you can count on ABC7 to be there and bring you all the action.
What a crowd, huh?
That's a great crowd for high school basketball.
Let's take a look at traffic right now. 6:07, and this is US 54 at Pershing, where we have that accident and closure.
You can see police are still on the scene. These are the southbound lanes of US 54. Just make sure that if you do use this area of the freeway to find another route this morning.
The Las Cruces Police Department is now being accused of excessive use of force.
This after a video surfaced of officers beating a man. That man now is suing the city and pressing criminal charges.
And success at the bridges. The city of El Paso getting some good news now about its improvements at the ports of entry.
And not so good news, we're under a first alert.
I knew you were going to say that. Let's get right to Crystal Clyde. Good morning.
We are still under that first alert. Now we're talking much colder temps. Today or tonight? We'll answer that question after your break.
Thanks so much, Crystal. This is ABC7, where news comes first.